Alright, so in this part we're going to meet an old friend because now I have a map in front of me so I can figure out where to go. Okay.
I'd heard stories about the Soul King.
So we were headed towards a citadel. There's the citadel. Now I think there's a page right around here on the east side. And again, I'm using a map only because I want this quest to go by fairly quickly. I'm not casual. Filthy casual. Oh, go away. Then again, I might be, since I'm looking at a map and I still can't find it. Yeah, it should be right here. Oh, there it is. Very good. 5 gold, beautiful. Dual wielding can be good sometimes. These guys are so annoying. They don't have much damage output, but they take a long time to kill. There's a pretty crazy thunderstorm going on outside, so I might lose power. Praying to Talos that I don't. There you go. Gravity is my deadliest weapon. By far. Okay. Next place. A little bit east of here. A little bit east and slightly south. It's actually a mod for this game. I think it's called Convenient Horses. It makes it so you can just summon the horse that you own to your location at any time. And it works kind of like this does. Except you don't use a summon spell. So many soul gems here. Wish my horse would stop getting into combat.
Get it out while we can.
Alright. So I got it. And, let's see, let's get get back on the road. Gotta use the roads, because, you know, you don't have a big map that you can use. Well, I'm using a map, but it's not.
Where'd you come from?
It's not showing me where I am in relation to the map.
I'm not gonna die like this.
I've been doing this all along. Okay. Just go ahead and summon our back now. Let's do a little bit of mounted combat.
That'll teach you.
I guess I don't get a crosshair. Oh well. Alright, so I was looking for the road. Here's the road. Just need to keep going south on the road and I should see Jiub. Okay, let's go forward here. I think that's him. Yep. That's gotta be him.
Fearlessly charge the enemy. No, much too dramatic.
There's something over here. I don't want to be interrupted. No sneak attack, okay. Let's see how it is.
Where'd you...
Wait, what? I meant to summon a Jamora, not on my horse. Alright, let's go talk to Jiub.
What do you want?
Hang on, I gotta turn the volume up. If there was ever a time to turn the game volume up, it's now. Okay.
Good riddance. How does anyone expect me to write my opus with all of these rude interruptions? What do I mean, indeed? If I hadn't lost all of the pages, I wouldn't be in this predicament, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Very well. I suppose a moment or two of my time couldn't hurt. I am Jiub. Some call me Saint Jiub. Others call me Jiub the Eradicator. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Well, I have, but I guess my character hasn't.
I can't say that I'm surprised by your answer. Until I get my second volume published, no one will ever know of my achievements. A book? I'd hardly call a 26-volume epic simply a book. Surely you've heard of the rise and fall of Saint Jiub the Eradicator, hero of Morrowind and savior of the Dharma. Maybe you should leave the writing to an expert. Stop making foolish suggestions. Terrible. Simply terrible. I was in the midst of writing the second volume, and they just threw me into this prison. It's unfair. That damn Dremora and his minions. They didn't even give me a chance to explain who I was. Well, I assume so. It cast a spell at me from some kind of strange black crystal. Next thing I knew, I arrived here. My what? Wait. That means... No. All these wasted months, or has it been years? I don't even remember how much time has passed. No, my work will never see the light of day. My name will be forgotten. Perhaps. Do you have a way out of here? Maybe I can't leave, but my writings can. In order to write the second volume of my opus, I need the notes from my first volume. Otherwise, I need to do all of this from memory. When I was tossed in here, I felt myself falling, and I dropped the pages I had been holding. There were 10 of them in all. Find them for me, please. I beg you. Well, that's a ridiculous question. Everyone traveling through here has said that the Oblivion Gates have been opening all over Tamriel. Has it been that long? Oh my. Well, it started with the followers of Mehrunes Dagon having Emperor Uriel Septim VII assassinated. Without a Septim on the throne of the Empire, Dagon was able to leave Oblivion through the gates and attack. All I heard is that without a Septim sitting on the throne of the Empire, the dragon fires in a place called the Temple of the One were no longer lit. This meant that we were vulnerable to the forces of Oblivion. Well, I don't know. Everything seemed fine until that Dremora attacked me. I only heard later about the gates from the other souls. I can only assume the gates have been closed by now. I had just moved from my ancestral home in Morrowind to the continent of Cyrodiil. I settled in the city of Kvatch to write my memoirs and to find some peace and quiet. Indeed, one moment I was writing diligently, and the next, my door bursts open. It was a cadre of Dremora. The city was under attack. I took it upon myself to join the cause and fight the Dremora, thinking this would simply be another feather in my cap. The reason I'm standing in front of you as only a whisper of my former self should tell you that. I never knew what became of Kvatch. I wonder if they were triumphant without me. Ah, yes. Say Jiub, Jiub the Eradicator, Jiub the Magnificent. I've earned a lot of those titles thanks to my campaign against the Winged Menace. Yes, I'm speaking of the Cliff Racer, of course. Wretched things. They used to crisscross the skies over Morrowind like vermin. Nasty flying creatures with a habit of sneaking upon the unwary. After I was freed from prison, I decided to turn my life around. Give something back to the people of Morrowind. It became quickly apparent that the best way I could help would be by wiping out the Cliff Racers. Indeed I was. I hunted down and killed every last one of them. Took years. The people of Morrowind were so grateful to have the road safer again, they took to calling me Saint Jiub, and then the other names followed. That was a dark time in my life. I did a lot of things I ended up regretting. Maybe that's why I worked so hard to redeem myself once I was freed. I murdered others for money. And before you think I belong to some romantic or secretive guild, think again. I was simply an addict who needed money for school. The stuff wasn't cheap, and murder always seemed to be in demand. I finally bit off more than I could chew. I was paid to assassinate some high-ranking official from House Redoran. What I didn't know is someone had hired the Morag Tong to kill him as well. Exactly. He got to my target first, and called the guard to cover his tracks. By the time I got there, the place was on alert. Walked right into a trap, and didn't even realize it until I was captured. They tried me for murder, threw me on a prison ship, and sent me to the jail in Vivek City. Gave me a lot of time to think, that's for sure. At this rate, my first volume will be complete. Don't give up.
I think a vampire would be right at home in this place.
So that's Jiub from Morrowind. He's the guy you see on
You'd be wrong.
the ship that you wake
Let's
up
just
in
find
at
my
the
mother
very
and get out of
beginning.
here quickly.
Now he's a fully fleshed out character. I always called him Jiub. He calls himself Jiub,
Yeah,
but he'll always be Jiub to me.
this is all wrong.
And what's extra special about him is that he's actually voiced by Jeff Baker. They brought the old Dark Elf voice out of retirement one last time to voice Jiub. It's really special, I think.
Who's there?
So I grew up playing Morrowind, and that was the Dark Elf voice for me that I grew accustomed to. So I'm really happy that they put him in the game, and with Jeff Baker's voice, that's really special. Okay, I think this is where page 10 is. Do I have page 10? I do have page 10. Alright, do I have page 1? I don't have page 1. That's nearby. It's a little bit south, right next to the wall. It might be on the other side. So Jeff Baker stopped doing the Dark Elf voice after Morrowind. I don't know for sure, but I think it has to do with the fact that voice is really taxing on your throat. So, like, if he did a really dialogue-heavy game, like, you know, Morrowind was kind of dialogue-heavy, but not nearly as dialogue-heavy as this game and Oblivion. So, like, if he tried to do all of Oblivion and all of Skyrim with that voice, he probably would permanently damage his throat. I know that I'm not reading the pages, but they'll all be put together in the book, so we can read them later. Page 8, page 6, page 3 is a bit northwest. In the Oblivion trailer and the Skyrim trailer, Bethesda was kind of trying to trick us into thinking that he was gonna, Jeff Baker was gonna do the voice, his old Dark Elf voice. But that wasn't true. Still kind of pissed that they misled people like that. But oh well. Where is page 3? Alright, there's the portal. And page 3 is the northeast. And supposedly over there. Hang on. Damn it, I'm trying to line this up. Alright. I think I might have to go to the other side. Yeah, I have to go to the other side. Or just in here. I've already been here, I just missed it. There it is. Why didn't I look up here? I wasn't thinking. Copper and sapphire circlet. Never mind that. These gem things that steal your health. I think that those are the ideal masters that Serrano was talking about. They're the ones that kind of rule this place. Alright. So I need page 9 and page 2. Yep, those are the last two. Let's get Arvac back. Let's see. Page 9 is to the northwest. Just go straight up there. outside of a building. Oh, go away, man. Damn it. Steam overlay comes up when I press shift in this game sometimes. Now where do I go? Oh, it's just, right here, I think. At least I think. Could have sworn I've already been here. I think I killed one of those keepers here. No, this doesn't look right. Oh wait, it's to the east. It's like directly east. Yeah, it's in this building here. I think I've been here too, though. It's like right in the middle of this building. Should be right on top of it. Maybe it's right on top of me. Like above me. Get on top of this building. Just get off my horse. Alright. Aha! That's how you do it. Should be on that pedestal up there. Soul Essence Gem. Say what now? Just transformed into a black soldier. Here, let me just save real quick so I don't die stupidly and lose everything. There's a lot of external noise going on in the apartment. I hope the mic's not picking it up. Miniature maze. How did I get in here? Passage was over here. You know, I could have just gone back to the top and jumped off, but this worked out. Alright, page 2. Almost directly east of here. It's on the west side of that big citadel over there. School quest. It's like Morrowind levels of hunting and gathering. There's really something for everyone in this game. You got your hand-holdy quests, you got your not-so-hand-holdy quests, and you got your Morrowind-style quests. That's a Nordic chest. Hey, that's a word wall. Don't seem to be any words written on it though. Diamond, very nice. Glass mace. Can't improve glass. Alright, now we're ready to go back to Jiub. Just kind of curious to see what else is here. Nothing. Alright, let's go. Next part of the main quest is right here. I'll come back here real soon. I need to find that Morven Stroud guy that I offered to give soul husks to. Where'd he go? He was near the portal. I'll take care of that later.
You did it. You have all of my pages. Finally. I never thought I'd see these again. These pages meant the world to me. Thank you. Now, Volume 2 begins. What else? Oh, wait a moment. Here, I want you to have these before you go. A pristine copy of my first volume. Only one in print, actually. And take this as well. Seeing as St. Jiub has ascended to pure spiritual form, I won't need it any longer.
I have an extremely expensive book now, written by St. Jiub himself. It doesn't really give you any skills or anything, but it's cool. I am a hunter, I am a redeemer, I am Jiub. The tale of my rise to glory begins in the ash wastes of Morrowind. I rode alone, weapon at my side and burning wind stinging my face. I wonder if I can read it in his voice. My quest was arduous, but necessary to ensure that... I'm terrible at that. Never mind. My quest was arduous, but necessary to ensure the survival of dumber people. The pestilence was creeping across the ashlands, a menace with an insatiable hunger that played innocent travelers, simply trying to get home. It was my self-sworn task to hunt them down one by one and drive them from the skies. Their fury knew no bounds, and their war cry resonated across the land. They were the notorious cliff racers, and they had to be destroyed. On a particularly hot day during sun's height, I was tracking what I called a lingerer, a cliff racer without a nest. He was a particularly feisty one too, leading me on a merry chase across 3 miles of ash dunes. I had managed to take a piece out of one of his wings in an earlier scuffle, so he couldn't manage much of a climb, but he still had quite a bit of stamina left, and he was trying to make me tire of the chase. Almost 2 solid hours passed, and my silt strider was tiring, but I couldn't give up. I had sworn to eliminate the foul beasts to the last, and I wasn't about to let it go. I was going to stop the thing. I'd have to do it fast. If I was going to stop the thing. I pulled my longbow from my back and knocked my last arrow. I took a deep breath and pulled, trying to keep the cliff racer in my sights. It was literally a long shot, with the beast gaining distance, and the silt strider bouncing me around at a full gallop. Finally, with a silent prayer, I released the string. The arrows sang through the air like a howling demon as it sliced its way towards the target. Finally, just as it crested the lip of the Foyata, the arrow struck it in the midsection. It let out a horrible cry and fell out of the sight. My cries of triumph were quickly stifled by the sound of 100 wings. Rising from the foyada was an entire colony of cliff racers, and they were out for blood. The blasted thing had led me right to their nest, and sacrificed itself with the intent of feeding me to its brood. It was a trap. The damn things had become much too clever. Knowing this was likely the end, I jumped down from the silt strider and hit the back of its leg with the flat of my glass blade. There was no need for the innocent thing to die here today because of my stupidity. As the ash cloud cleared from being stirred up by its massive legs, the cliff racer brood approached. I held my sword high and prepared for the worst. The battle lasted 2 full days. I was beaten, clawed, bitten, and knocked down more times than I cared to remember. Grief, how long is this? Oh, okay. In the end, 76 cliff racers were slaughtered. I was knee-deep in their corpses and my body was on the verge of collapse. But I had survived. I smiled to the heavens and all went black. When I awoke, all I felt was my back on the cold stone floor. Every muscle in my body was on fire, and my vision was blurred. Slowly, I tried to climb to my feet. It took several agonizing minutes, but I finally managed to do it. As my eyes adjusted to the dim light of my new surroundings, I realized that I was standing before Lord Vivek himself. He was simply staring at me, floating above his throne and staring at me with his piercing eyes. When I began to prostrate myself as a sign of respect, he held up one of his hands as if to say it wasn't necessary. Was I dead? Was Lord Vivek pleased with me? Was he about to strike me down in anger for my somewhat sordid past? Suddenly I understood everything. Suddenly I realized that I was brought here for a reason. I should have died in those ash wastes, but Lord Vivek must have seen something inside me that he hadn't seen in millennia, and decided to spare me from my fate. Thus began my ascent to sainthood. Thus began the rise of Jiub.
Where'd you come from?
This whole story is kind of a joke. This whole quest is kind of just a commentary on how much people hated cliff racers. So this was vicarious revenge for Saint Jiub. That's cool, I guess. It's really more of an Easter egg than anything. Okay, back to the plot. Hello. I saw you. Where's Serrano? Let me just wait an hour. There she is. Come on.
Mother? Mother!
It can't be. Serrana?
Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serrana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a moment. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you.
So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serrana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down. Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade, I find it hard to believe your intentions are noble. Serrana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you.
Well, she did.
You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself. When I fled Castle Volkihar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Auriel and his arcane weapon, Auriel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon. Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molag Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molag Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor.
Bad Daedra.
It's what some call the domain of Molag Bal, his place in oblivion. It was expected of her, just as it was expected of me. Being selected as an offering to Molag Bal is an honor. She wouldn't have dared turn her back on that. Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible. If Harkon obtained Auriel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires. And how exactly do you plan on stopping him? If you believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I originally suspected. Don't you think I weighed that option before I enacted my plans? You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. Whether or not you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil creatures that need to be destroyed.
Actually, it's mainly because you've been attacking cities.
Serana? This stranger aligns himself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to him.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
How dare you! I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father!
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Oh, Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him, before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me, but for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can. Yes, I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins. You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending them, and it should bring the barrier down. One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnevere roaming the cairn. Be wary of him. The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat. As you've been traveling in the Soul Cairn, your body has become attuned to it. Let's just say a tiny part of you rubbed off on it, and in its place, a bit of the Soul Cairn filled the void. You should find no difficulty using the portal any longer. Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where the vampire can flourish, and never again fear the tyranny of the sun. What he fails to realize is how much attention would be called to our kind if the prophecy came to fruition. If eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. They would raise armies in attempts to return things to normal. The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last vampire was hunted down and eliminated. I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future. When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place. I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here. The Ideal Masters unleashed their Keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins. Unfortunately, yes. Since the Keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach. Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in. I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance. Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that. I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence. Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims. The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them. The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here as harvested souls. Be careful. My daughter's safe.
So one thing that I'm wondering is, how did a dragon get here? Because, like, you can't really soul trap a dragon. I don't think they ever really explained that. Killed two of those keeper guys. I read somewhere that they actually drop a lot of loot. They drop several black soul gems that are filled. But, I didn't see their loot piles after I killed them. Not sure what's going on there. Try to find this one loot pile. Kill it. Sorry if I'm making noises, I'm adjusting this. headset. Yeah, he knows I'm here. How does he know I'm here? He can't even see me.
Where'd you...
Ah! See the pile, it disappears like immediately.
The barrier should be gone now. Let's head back.
Why that happens. Alright, let's go. Oh, I'm not supposed to be up here. Whoops. Where am I? It's over here. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm getting confused. Okay, let me off. See what I'm doing. Alright.
You managed to destroy all 3 keepers? Very impressive. Yes. Please follow me. Keep watch for Durnevere. With the prison's barrier down, he's almost certain to investigate.
Wait. I hear something.
It's Durna. He's here. Where'd you come from?
The spawning shout. Forgot about that. check out that box.
Forgive my astonishment, but I never thought I'd witness the death of that dragon. Volumes written on Durnevere alleged that he can't be slain by normal means. It appears they were mistaken. Unless... the soul of a dragon is as resilient as its owner's scaly hide. It's possible that your killing blow has merely displaced Durnevere's physical form while he reconstitutes himself. Minutes, hours, years. I can't even begin to guess. I suggest we don't wait around to find out. Now, let's get you the Elder Scroll, and you can be on your way.
Come on, she's leading us to the scroll.
Yes, I know, Serrano. Oh, look at all this nice stuff.
I don't think I could be doing this alone.
What did you want?
Smith's
What did you
elixir,
want?
Chandra's
I'm glad
elixir.
you're here. I don't think I could be doing this alone.
Alright, let's take it.
That's it. That's the last scroll. Come on, let's take it to Dexion.
Now that you've retrieved the Elder Scroll, you should be on your way. I have no choice. As I told you before, I'm a daughter of Cold. If I return to Tamriel, that increases Harkon's likelihood of bringing the tyranny of the sun to fruition. As much as it pains me to send you and Serana back alone, I can't take the risk. Remember that Harkon is not to be trusted. No matter what he promises, he'll deceive you in order to get what he wants. And promise me you'll keep my daughter safe. She's the only thing of value I have left.
Back already.
Stay your weapons. I would speak with you, Quinarin. Cursed, not dead. Doomed to exist in this form for eternity. Trapped between Laas and Enoch. Between life and death. The hostility was necessary. I was bound to an oath. I believe in civility among seasoned warriors, and I find your ear worthy of my words. My claws have rended the flesh of innumerable foes, but I have never once been felled on the field of battle. I therefore name you Quinarin, or Vanquisher in your tongue. Your words do me great honor. My desire to speak with you was born from the result of our battle, Quinarin. I merely wish to respectfully ask a favor of you. For countless years I've roamed the Soul Cairn in unintended service to the Ideal Masters. Before this, I roamed the skies above Tamriel. I desire to return there. I fear that my time here has taken its toll upon me. I share a bond with this dreaded place. If I ventured far from the Soul Cairn, my strength would begin to wane until I was no more. I will place my name with you, and grant you the right to call my name from Tamriel. Do me this simple honor, and I will fight at your side as your Graze Mazen, your ally, and teach you my Thum. Trivial in your mind, perhaps. For me, it would mean a great deal. I don't require an answer, Quinarin. Simply speak my name to the heavens when you feel the time is right. There was a time when I called Tamriel my home. But those days have long since passed. The Dova roamed the skies, vying for their small slices of territory that resulted in immense and ultimately fatal battles. I was, but unlike some of my brethren, I sought solutions outside the norm in order to maintain my superiority. I began to explore what the Dova call Elok Dylan, the ancient forbidden art that you call necromancy. The Ideal Masters assured me that my powers would be unmatched, that I could raise legions of the undead. In return, I was to serve them as a keeper until the death of the one who calls herself Valerica. I discovered too late that the Ideal Masters favor deception over honor, and had no intention of releasing me from my binding. They had control of my mind, but fortunately they couldn't possess my soul. Free? No. I have been here too long, Quinarin. The Soul Cairn has become a part of what I am. I can never fully call Tamriel my home again, or I would surely perish. I only hope that you will allow me the precious moments of time there, through your call.
Come on, let's go home.
So that's to say that I have a new summon. And it works through a shout. Just go ahead. Buy all three of these because I have plenty of souls. So I have two different dragons that I can call. Might come in handy.
Wohl! Nach ist!
It's faster to do that than to ride a horse. Well, it takes so long to regenerate. The horse has got to be faster. Alright, so I got a new quest objective. To learn Soul Tear. And I heard that Soul Tear is really overpowered. So I'm all about the overpowered stuff, so definitely going to get that. But not in this part. I think we're getting close to the end of this part now. I just want to go back and find that merchant guy. I think he's over here. Yeah, here he is. And I'm gonna leave.
Brought some soul husks? Or are you wasting my time? Of course I do. What do you want?
interesting. What kind of armor he'd give me? Just give him a spell tome. Or get a spell.
Sure, here you go. Can't understand a word of it. Maybe it will do you some good.
Ice Storm, come on now. I'm not a destruction caster. Let's see, how much does it cost? 360, so I can get a little bit of gold out of it. Not going to get any use out of it though, because I have no destruction skill, nor do I intend to get any. So the reason I don't really like destruction that much is, I mean, the damage output that you do is decent in this game, but it's not really any better than what you can do with like a melee weapon or a missile weapon. And it just eats up your magicka really fast, so you don't have any left over to do any healing or summoning. So yeah. Just don't really like it that much. I have to dismount before I go through here. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to show you. So Jiub gave me that book, and he also gave me a necklace. Where is it? Okay, it's sorted by enchanted. Locket of St. Jiub. So it gives you 50 points more carrying capacity, and you get 50 points more stamina. It's okay, I guess. I guess I could wear that by default if I don't care about fast shouting. Let's put this helmet back on. This is a good helmet for spellcasting, though. It's almost as good. I might just end up wearing this. I have a lot of stuff that I need to sell. And I'm pretty close to being able to make ebony stuff as well. Yeah, I just need 5 more smithing. How many gems do I have? I have a few, not that many. I can just make some more orcish armor and then that'll improve it enough. Need to sell these. Okay, so next time we'll hopefully get my smithing skill increased enough, and then we'll get the words of the Soul Tear shout. I think you get those from the dragon. And we'll do that next time. Till then.